All right, what's going on, everyone? Great morning, great night to anyone who's watching this at night. I just wanted to do a quick video, just kind of how I'm feeling with everything. I'm just another guy in the world, and I was just sitting here kind of getting my thoughts together and what to say for this video. And I can't lie. At all these videos that I do, if you go back and you watch some of my videos that I did in the past, you're going to find that a lot of what I say contradicts itself because life is a contradiction. That doesn't make it wrong, though, because it contradicts itself. And there's many hypocrisies in this life. I don't try to be a hypocrite. I don't want to be a hypocrite, but even I can be a hypocrite sometimes. So, with that, I can't lie. I want people to like me, but I don't want people that are like me, I think the same thing, but they don't say it too much. I want you to like me, but I don't want you to worship me and idolize me and look at me for the answers for your life. Because, see, it's about each of us individually. See this is why I don't believe in and I don't live by this group mentality anymore. And I don't live by what the crowd says. And I don't live by statistics and all that stuff. Because, see, when you're doing that, you're just going by what everyone else is going by and what everyone else is saying and what everyone else's opinion is. I'm just learning more and more things as time goes on. Like I said, I'm not going to be the same man that I was yesterday or the day before. This past couple weeks, I've been learning a lot of different things, and I'm not going to go back to being the same exact way that I was. No, I don't believe in evolution, and I don't go for the whole evolution crap, but I'm evolving as a person, not evolving physically and turning into something else physically and all that. I'm evolving as a person as to what I understand and what I know. And see, I've been reading a lot of these philosophical, quotes from like Seneca, Pluto, or Plato. Sorry, I always say Pluto. Marcus Aurelius, a lot of other guys. I can't think of all the names because I just kind of got into this. See, this is something that I'm doing more often along with a lot of other things. But there's this one quote. I'm not going to look it up because it's really similar to this. I have my notepad right next to me. I'm always writing stuff. That really helps me out as my notepad. I wasn't writing for the longest time. For a long time, I wasn't writing nothing because I was like, what's the point? And, and I talk about life being meaningless, which it is, but you have to have something that you're doing while you're alive. See, that's the contradiction I talk about and the hypocrisy that I talk about. But you have to have something that you're doing. You can't just not be doing anything in your life, So, but there's this quote where it says something in the terms of a wise man knows nothing. It's A wise man will admit, but then who is really a wise man? Because no one knows everything. So who's really wise? See, this is the contradiction that constantly comes into play when I talk, and that is the greatness in the contradiction, though, is that everything contradicts itself. And I really want people to understand this. Like it says, a wise man admits he knows nothing, but he knows a lot of stuff. But really, we don't know so many things, even though you know so many other things. That does not necessarily make you intelligent or educated because you know a certain amount of things. There are still foolish people that do foolish things that know a lot of things. So, who's really wise? I know there's a lot of stupid people. Don't get offended, anyone watching. If you're not stupid, then you shouldn't get offended. If I say stupid person, dumb person, people that are ignorant, you shouldn't get mad if I'm not talking about you. That's another thing I wrote in my notebook the other day I wrote it just a couple hours ago, is why do people get offended at what people say to them if they are not the thing that people are saying to you? If someone calls you a butt sniffer and you don't sniff butts, why are you going to get mad? I'm just using that. I'm trying to lighten up a little here, because a lot of my discussions, I don't try to be a serious guy, but I am determined to find out things, and I want to know more, and I want to learn more, and I want to create more. That's kind of all that's left to do for me, is create. That's all that I really want to do. Is I want to make music. Sooner or later, the time has not come, and I have been procrastinating a little bit, but I just know for me that the time is not right. I don't have everything that I need to do what I want to do how I want to do it. Now, some people will call that procrastination. Some people will say you're making excuses not to do it, but it's not the time yet. But my music, sooner or later, I plan on selling beats. I plan on getting into the music big time. The writing, the music, the videos, the art, the designing stuff, like designing artwork, videos and all that. I haven't dove into that yet because the time's not right. I don't have what I need to do that yet. When I do, I will be doing that thing. And with that thing, I'm going to make a living off of that. I don't want to become rich. And if I do happen to get wealthy off of what I do, then my wealth will be to help others help themselves. See, that's why I said in the beginning of the video, I'm not known or nothing. I don't have a big following. I don't have hardly any subscribers. The people that are subscribed to my channel and you watch this video, thank you for subscribing to my channel and giving me a chance and listening to what I'm saying. I appreciate you. But don't look at me for the answers for your life and worship what I'm saying and idolize the things that I say. When I do my music And like I said, I'm not known. I'm not this famous guy. And I don't want to be what the world wants people to be. I talk to a certain category of people when I do these videos. I don't want millions and millions of people following me and all that. If that does happen, it happens. But I don't want this thing to end up being like a cult or, some crazy thing, because it will never become that with me anyway. And I don't even know why I'm talking about that. This is for future reference if something ever would happen from my work. I make music to give people a feeling and to get people through the day and have a great feeling. That's it. I don't do it for people to worship me and look to me for all the answers. I'm only a man, and I make music and I write and I do the arts. That's what I do. So that's just one subject. But really, I did this video because the world is going way too fast today. Everything is going way too fast for you and I. And I really think that we need to take a moment and stop and slow down. Take a breath and relax. And stop chasing and being and doing and saying and performing and talking about and making videos about what everybody else is doing, because everyone else is doing the same thing. There's no one really doing nothing really unique and genuine today. Not too many people. And I hate to say this. I really do. I really, really hate to say this, because it makes it seem like I'm saying that you're a shit artist, or, your music is crap. And I'm not really saying that. I'm saying most of the message in the music today is crap. And most of the time put into it and the effort put into it is crap. People are just doing it to blow up and to be famous and to be worshipped and looked upon like they're so great. And I don't do it for that, and I won't do it for that when I do it. And if any of you stick with me until I get to that point, you'll see what I'm talking about in my music. Now, I'll do some music where I'm kind of joking but being for real, kind of like dark comedy or something, or real life, being funny but being serious at the same time. It's that contradiction thing that I talk about. But yeah, there's way too much of the same thing going on today. And this is what I wanted to say about that. I'm not coming at these people that I'm talking about as people. I'm not coming at them. I'm coming at their message. I'm coming at the things that they are filling people's brains with and what they are pushing, this agenda that they're pushing. It's bullcrap. There's something so much better than this. There is another way. There is another way. And I will show that way when I get to that time in my life and that point. I will show that. I'm building up something now to show in the future time. But it's just not the time yet. Whether you think that's procrastination or making excuses, that's fine if people want to label it as that. But I'm going to do what I need to do for me, and That's what you need to be doing as a person. You need to be doing what you want and need to do for you, not because you're doing it for other people and groups of people and the world. Because I just watched this documentary. It's called Zeitgeist, I think, something like that. Zeitgeist, Zeitgeist. I don't know if that's how it's spelled. Zeitgeist. It's some kind of the movie, a documentary, but it's talking about how the world and material things, this whole system is completely corrupt and screwed. And these material things and this consumerism and more and more and more stuff and more things and all that, it is not going to make you and I happy. It is not going to fulfill your life while you're living. And this is what I mean. We have so much things to work with now as a people. We have so many, like, musicians. Any of you musicians listening, we have so many sounds right now to work with. Like I said in my other video, we can make an ecosystem of songs, galaxies of songs with the sounds that we have and the ways that we can filter the sound and sequence the sounds and put effects on the sounds and do all kinds of different things. There's so much you can do with these things already, but yet we're making more and we're putting out more and more, and everything is going so fast. But yet we're so far behind. And that's why I said we need to take a minute and stop and chill out. The world is so in a hurry. This is what I mean. Everybody that is going for the world and everything in the world, it's going way too fast for you and I. You can't keep up with it, and you don't want to have to keep up with it. This whole thing where you keep trying and trying and you're chasing these things, and you're this consumerism, and you're consuming these material things, and you're trying to fill this void and this gap in your life with things and material stuff and what this system is pushing, and you're trying to get ahead and stuff. It's like it's futile. This is why I always talk about in my videos, find what you like or love to do and run with that thing. Because this is the only thing that you have really going for you. And if you can help someone else out with your craft or what you're doing and the profit that you're making off of that, then help someone else out. You know, there's so many people starving in the world, and there's so many things that if I had the resources and I was in a different predicament than what I am right now, I would be doing more things. But this is kind of all I can do right now is, and I know words really don't mean shit most of the time, but it's all I can do is send a message like this, because this message is not getting spread around too much. And you might think my message is nothing. And really, that's the thing. It kind of is nothing. It kind of is nothing. It's kind of less is more. Use what you have right now to do things and to make things great with. Like I said, I'm working with a Korg Electribe drum machine that has synth sounds and a Roland JDXI, and I have a computer in FL Studio, but I don't like making music on a computer because it's too it's just too technical, and you're using a mouse and stuff. I don't like making music like that. I like making music with my own hands, with my own voice, and creating my own with my own hands, you know? So this is just a real quick message, you know? And I want to remind people of this. Anyone who ever watches my videos or subscribes to my channel, any of that, I want people to understand this. I am going to contradict myself many times. That is life. I may seem like a hypocrite with some of the things I say. You know, I'm not a perfect man neither. You know, I'm constantly learning more things and I'm gaining more knowledge as I go on. So how I was in a video 5 months ago, I might have said something that I was ignorant of and didn't even know it. You know what I mean? And I can't remember every little thing that I said, but I might have said something where I didn't really know myself and I thought that I did. So that's the prideful part of me that I'm letting go constantly, is admitting that I don't know everything. When I admit that I don't really know nothing, just like with the wise man thing that I used, a wise man will say he really doesn't know nothing, you know? But who can call themselves wise? Because nobody knows everything. There's something that someone doesn't know about. There's something that someone does not know. See, and here's another thing. And I'm going to end this video. I'm not going to make it real long. It's already 22 minutes. This labeling thing. We need to quit labeling everything as good or as bad, or as, oh, this thing will definitely help you. Oh, this thing will not help you. You know, you can't really put a label to people because you don't know what works for people. I don't know what works for you. I don't know what you like to do. I don't know your mind. I can't read your mind. But what I am going to fill people's minds with is a great feeling with the music, and to be your own individual, and to learn things that you don't know, and to become your own individual and like yourself and like doing what you're doing in your life. Screw the labels. The labels. That's what I say. People that label you and call you one thing, and you don't want to be around people like that. That constantly are saying, oh, well, why ain't you being this way? Why are you acting like this? That's because it's how I'm acting. I don't have to act or be like nothing but me. If I can't be me around people, and I can't be me around an individual, and they don't accept me for who I am and what I like and enjoy, then you can't accept me as a person. Plain and simple. That's all there is to it. And there may be people that listen to me and don't like my voice, or they don't like how I look, or they don't like my skin color, or they don't like the way my beard's trimmed, or they don't like my hair, or like the way that I'm doing this with my hand every time I say like. You know, there's so many little things that we label, and we say, oh, I don't like this, so I'm ditching this to the side. I like that, so I'm gonna give that a thumbs up. This thing, I don't know. You know, we label too much instead of just doing what we like to do and minding our business and doing what we do, and show other people that we're too worried about others and what the world's doing and what the world's saying and what everybody else is doing and what everybody else approves of and what everybody else tells you what to do and how to live, and why are you being like this and why are you saying this and that. These are the things and the people that I will not associate myself with. So that's why it's hard for me to fit into a lot of different places, because I just don't fit in. That's not the way I am. And like I said, I know I'm not going to end up, I don't think I'm going to end up with millions of subscribers one day and like this following of millions of people. If I do, I do, but I'm not going for that. I do need people though to buy my beats in the future and to help me help them and help me to make a living. That's all I'm going for, is to make a living off of what I do. You know, for the labor that I put in for something that I like to do, I just want to be able to make a living off it. I don't want to get rich. And I want to give that person something that they like and that they feel and they can use for themselves as an individual. That's all I want. That's all I desire. I don't want to be looked upon as, something bigger than what I am. I don't want my pride to get swollen. I don't want my ego to blow up, and I don't want to do that to any of you that are watching. I don't want to do that to anybody that subscribed to my channel, anybody that listens to my videos. I don't want to do that to you. So I'm telling you now, these things that I'm saying is to help you help yourself. It's not for me to help you. It's for me to help you help yourself, if that makes sense. You can't look for me for the answers. You can't look to me for all the answers, because I don't have all the answers for you. And there isn't answers all the time. You don't need answers for everything. Let things be how they are. You can't change some things. And this is what I got to tell myself, is that I cannot change everything. But I can change myself. Individuality. That's what it's about. Each individual. It's not about groups. It's not about the world and what everyone else is doing. And I need people to understand that, how I'm trying to bring this across here. So, take it or leave it. If you leave it, you leave it. It's not for you. If you take it and do something with yourself. Don't force yourself to do something that you don't want to do or you think you should do. Do it because you like or love to do it. If not, don't do it. Plain and simple. Just be you, who you are. Screw what the world thinks. Screw what the world says. Screw what everyone else says is the thing to do and is the cool thing and all that. Screw that. Screw people that tell you you have to be something or you should be this way or that way. Screw them people. Sorry, let them go about their own realm and something like that. But if you are so-called wise enough, I'm just going to use that term, which the wise man really knows nothing. See, here's the contradiction. But if you know more than that person, don't brag about it or boast about it. Tell them, listen, I think this is what you may be doing just too much of. You may be telling me to be something that I'm not. Why do you do that? Talk to the person if you have that amount of knowledge in your head already. You see, so that's what I'm doing for people that don't quite understand these things, that haven't got to this point yet, or you just don't understand. I'm not boasting or bragging. I'm just telling you things I already know, and I'm getting it out. That's all I can do. What else can I do? I don't have tons of money to do a bunch of things that I would like to do. I don't have a ton of resources to do things that I'd like to do. But if I had it, then something would be happening with it. Now, you might have it, you might not have it. But if you have it, then give if you want to give. Do what you do because you want to do it, not because everyone else says you have to do it or the world's doing it and all that. Quit trying to fit into this society and what everyone else is doing. It's not going to work. You're going to feel more empty in the long run than what you did before. I know because I did it. I've been there. I did these things. So that's why I can talk about it. And like I said, I don't have the answer for everybody. I'm just telling you little details that if you apply to your life, it can help you determine whether or not you want to do something or not. And it can help you make choices along the way. So that's all I try to do, is to give people the knowledge to help themselves. That's it. Later, y'all.